this video is recorded, so whenever somebody sees it, just to remind you that every Wednesday at 10 a.m. is the mentor training. Okay, let's get started. Have you been able to use the LMS to watch all the videos? Are you able to log in and everything? All the mentors? I'm gonna go over again to how to log in to the page where all the video of the trainings are located. Okay, so this link here is the link where you have to go to log in to the training sessions, videos, and content. So here you put your username and password. Then you click here on Mentor Documents. And here are all the videos. They're located, the training sessions that we do on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. They're right here. Okay? So let's try to do that right now. Everybody log in to this link I'm sending you here. And if you have any issue logging in, let me know. I just want to see if I want to understand if everybody has access. All right, so I guess you're already there. Check out all the videos, watch them. People who are not in the call will be able to watch this training in this link, in this page, okay? All right, so let's continue. Okay, so little recap of what we were doing last time. So the last exercise we were doing, or the last examples we were doing, is we were doing the 5 steps of the process of finding ideas and concepts and fields of play and a business case finally. We went through specific examples of each step of the process. So how did we find fields of play, for example? As you know, every company, they work in we call it a sandbox. That is actually the place or the industry they're working on, and the environment on their industry. So there are many ideas in that industry that are not being executed by companies, and we want to find which are they, or if there are some adjacencies, or which are the opportunities around those adjacencies, to understand which are places where they may go to next, and we call that a field of play. Okay, and there are some fields of play that are more actionable than others, and we want to find in this program, we want each company to implement a field of play that they will start to develop as the program is running. We want them to develop capacities. We want them to find new assets and new technologies around this field of play. We don't want them to go rambling around in different initiatives around completely uh, different fields of play. We want them to focus, and focusing efforts is very important. There's opportunity cost for every action a company may do. And if we don't guide them in the right direction, they will be losing time. We need you to make your company find the focus area, find the field of play. Okay? This will be their growth platform. They will, after the program, they will continuously develop new projects and new products and services around this growth platform. Okay? So that's why this is very important. So the fields of play that are within the core are not very attractive for this program. That's what they're already doing. What we really want is to find new space, but the fields of play that are completely out of the core and there's no overlap with what they are doing are kind of not very actionable. They are too difficult. They need to develop a new type of client, new needs, new experiences, new ways of delivering, new offerings, new technologies, and new business models, new production, new offerings. So that's difficult for a company. The best thing to do is to build a field of play that extends beyond the core, but that has overlap within the core business. That means that they use their capabilities and they go for an adjacent new type of initiative, and they can leverage what they are doing right now. Okay, if they go completely out of the core, that is possible, but it has to be real. It has to be actionable. And if you propose to your clients very out of the core fields of play, the execution will not be realistic. Any questions? Okay.
Artur,
Yes.
I have one question. One of the homeworks for our clients for next week is to have like the idea concept already, but I don't see them going through the field of play through their first mentorship. Is that something we should do, or are we skipping this, or because I have this question from the homework that they have.
Okay. So the field of play is a section that is going to be uh, done actually in the first working group. You are doing the mentor session. You are talking about the individual mentor session, right?
Yes, because like one of the homeworks that they had to have for next week, like, is having already the idea concept, like the bomb and then the idea concept. But like part of the homework was in the field of play. But okay, now I understand that in the group session, that's what we're going to do.
Yes. The thing is that this process of the training of the Jimmy training, it was a little bit tweaked for the program in order to have the two road paths. So one road path is to launch a product to the market, so a pilot project, and the other one is building your innovation system. Right? Those are the two things. So in the launching your product to the market section, building the business concept is a lot what will you do there. But in parallel, we are also launching the innovation system, and finding the field of play is one of the exercises we do on the strategy section. We have three sections: strategy, capacity, discipline, right? So on the first group session, we're gonna do strategy. Inside strategy, it looks like repetitive because you do the same exercises for finding the new idea, like the innovation intent and all this. And if you go to Eureka, let's try to go to Eureka to see, to clarify that. Everybody's using Eureka with your clients, right? So these are the two roadmaps I am talking to you about. Breakthrough Results Program and Capacity Building Program. In Spanish, it would be lanza tu proyecto piloto y construye tu sistema de innovación. So on the first section, if I choose the first one, the first section is desarrolla la gran idea, right? So in this section, we have innovation intent, business opportunity map, etc. But if we go back, these two things happen in parallel. If we go back to the second chevrons, this one, strategy, capacity, discipline, since it happens in parallel, you also have innovation intent here, right? But here is where you see áreas de enfoque, that is the plataformas de crecimiento. But these two things happen in parallel, all right? So whenever you go to the work group, in the 5-company work group meeting that you will have, you will do this section on strategy. And there...
Arthur, but my question is, for example, if they are already working on 3 ideas, but they're each from a different platform, because they haven't been to the group session, that the idea for them is to switch into 3 idea concepts that are part of the same platform? Is that, or is that not necessarily something they have to have?
So the process is that we want them to generate many ideas first, many concepts, many possible idea fragments. And we will try to understand, out of all these cumulus of ideas, like here, let's say they are populating the bomb, right? We want them to have many ideas and then start to grouping those ideas and listing them, simplifying them, and finding which trends and which are the best groups of ideas that belong to a field of play. And then we will find a field of play, okay? But first they have to populate many ideas and many concepts. So on the next work group session, we will try to organize these ideas and these concepts they are working on already, or candidate concepts, because they are not supposed to begin working until they find the one project, right? On only one project. They're right now generating ideas, and then they will find the field of play in the group session, in the strategy session. Okay. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Great. So a field of play we have this matrix or this chart where if you fill it out, you're able to describe your field of play very well. This is basically a summary of the BOM, a summary of the things that are here to the left. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna find my pen so that I can write in the board. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. All right, it works. So, how do we select a field of play? We want your clients to go to a market that is big, right? The bigger, the better. Why? Because there will be more successful on sales. That's very simple. And we want them to be a compelling field of play. It has to be not only a good market to go to, but it has to be also compelling for the organization, for the company you're working, for your client. Because if you go to a completely not exciting field of play, the employees will not be excited and they will not work. They will not work for it in a voluntarily. They will do things like because my boss is telling me to do it. We don't want that. We want them to have a compelling field of play. It has to be actionable. This means that the organization has to be able to execute with the capabilities and assets they have currently. It has to be fit. The field of play is aligned to the budgets they will have in the future, and is aligned with the innovation intent. That means the strategy of the company. Okay. It has to be robust. It means that it has to cover all the future trends and scenarios and all these exercises we've been doing. They may have other criteria, and you as well. Use your experience to find a good field of play. And then we will do an exercise to find the best field of play. Basically, you grade with numbers here, and then this will give you a big number, and the greater, the biggest number is the winner. Very simple. So let's go to step 4. Business concepts. So concepts can now be created by connecting the dots on the business opportunity map. And how do we build a business concept? All of them, they believe they have an idea. They say, hey, I'm gonna do a software, and the software is gonna be for food, and I'm gonna be doing food delivery. And that's my business concept. No, it's incomplete. The business concept needs to have an element of all the business opportunity map sections, right? So, wait 1 second, this is moving, right? So if we summarize the business opportunity map as you can see here, you will create the business concept. So basically, it's a summary of the 5 things we find in the BOM: the offering, the market, the delivery, the production, and the business model. And if we take, I would suggest it should have at least all the elements: customers, customers, needs, experiences, vocation, location, channels, competencies, assets, technologies, product, services, and brand. So if your business concept is well explained, it should have every single element in here. And that is very good for your client because they understand very well what they are offering. For example, an Apple iPod. And this is a pitch, actually. This is a sales pitch. It's a sales pitch builder also. For example, it would be like, we will provide an integrated music player and store to people who want to easily take their music with them through direct sales at our physical stores and make money through premium pricing using intuitive and simple design and key partnerships with artists and record labels. This summarizes almost everything. Of course, don't forget about networks, partners, and pricing models. Oops, sorry. My pen is like rebel today. Okay, let's go next. So this framework here will help you with your clients and will help you to build concepts. And look here, it summarizes the offering, the market, to whom are you delivering, which channels, using which business model, which partners, etc. This is a good tool, and you can add, delete, or change anything you believe is important for your client to have when they build the business concept. Okay? I think this is very straightforward. Any question here? All right. I'm repeating. Last time we talked about this, but we went very fast because we didn't have a lot of time. So, as you remember, we ranked. We may rank the concept that you want to go for, right? So this means we want them to find the attractiveness or fit of your concept. As you can see here in this matrix over here, you do a list of concepts. Tiana, you said your company had already 3 concepts, right? So possibly those 3 concepts are attractive and they are fit for your organization as well. So we want, and they are also part of a growth platform. And now, before we ranked the growth platform and we selected it. Now we are selecting the concept. So basically, the concepts we want are in this section of this graph. Why? Because it's more fit with the organization and it's more attractive for them. So if we do this exercise, we will find which is the concept they should follow. So after selecting a concept, after selecting one concept located here, we want to do reverse engineering with them. So this is a way of reducing the risk of failing. Many concepts are not feasible even though we did all these exercises. In every step of the process, we are trying to reduce the risk of failure. But failure is around the corner. It will happen to some of your companies. If you don't do these exercises well, this is going to happen. Reverse engineering is a good tool so that your company doesn't lose 1 month or 2 months of the program. And this is, I can tell you by experience, many companies may change their concepts, and that is normal. 2 months after the program, because they find that the project was not feasible after some findings they may make. But this tool, reverse engineering, will help you to fail fast, right? So we want them to do a list of uh, exercises. Oh no, we want them to do a list of ideas that need to be real in order for the concept to be successful. For example, I need to have a budget. I need a technology. I need a new machine. I need a software, um, etc. You do a list of these things. So of this list, there are some things that the company believes is almost impossible to have. For example, it's impossible to have the budget. I think that's very difficult because of the organization's current financial statements. So, which one do you least believe on? Check the top three. So you will have like here a list of things that you believe they're uh, very difficult well, it has to happen for the concept to be successful, and check the top three that you believe uh, is very difficult for it to happen. When they select those three, we want them to be considering the things that you see here below: the business model, the suppliers, employees, production, offering, delivery, customers, partners, competitors, or others. These are, we call them triggers. When they are doing this list, think about the business model. What has to be true so that the business model is implementable? What needs to be true with your suppliers in order to implement these ideas? Maybe the suppliers don't have the technology or the materials you need, so you have to find new suppliers. What needs to happen with your employees? Employees need to know about certain, they need to have a knowledge that they don't have today. Yes, no. You need to train them then. And training them is possible or impossible. So as you populate this list, think about the triggers. And when you select the top three, we're going to do the following exercise. So basically, which conditions are more essential to explore first to determine viability? Uh, Whenever you have, yeah, you have a question? I think somebody was talking, no? Okay, so basically, we want to understand which are the conditions that are essential to explore the viability. For example, um, if it's a financial issue or a money issue, uh, to determine the viability, maybe you need to explore. You need to explore if partners are able to finance the idea, or a bank is willing to borrow money in your idea, or an investment fund or a partnership with another company will give you the funds to implement this idea. So we want them to design a experiment to test if this is a fast failure, to see if we can fail fast, you know. We want them to understand if by doing this experiment, this project is feasible or not. For example, if the idea is that the bank will finance the project, then the experiment would be: call the bank, ask for requirements, analyze very fast your capabilities for borrowing this money, and if it's not possible, then you failed fast. You wouldn't want to go for this project because this idea is very important, or this thing that we call the need, it needs to happen in order for the project to go forward. So we want them to design these critical experiments, write them down, and execute them for each of the three things that they selected that are most critical in order for the project to happen. We want them to write the desired outcomes, and as they do the experiments, many of the ideas will be killed. Many of the concepts will be killed of your companies. So what happens if a concept is killed? Then you go back to your list of concepts. You remember that you had one that was 8 and one that was 10. You selected the 10, right? But then if 10 fails, we go to the next one. And this is the pipeline of projects, that of concepts that you have. So you select the next concept, and then they will do reverse engineering again, do a list of things that need to happen so that this is a concept that is executable, and then do again experiments, and possibly these experiments, and hopefully these experiments this time work and they can continue with that project. Okay? All right. Any questions? Okay. So finally, the business case. To create a mini business plan, we want to understand what conditions need to be tested first, create a plan that summarizes the concepts in a compelling, visual, stimulating, and insightful way, and meet your organization's internal conditions. I wanted to remind something. This Jimmy test, this Jimmy exam, this is a training for the Jimmy test, right? Jimmy exam, level 1. The program, Sistemas de Innovación, the project that we are executing, is not exactly mapped with this training, with this Jimmy level 1 exam. We have, given that the clients have different requirements, we have done different things to modify a little bit the program, and to comply with their requirements. One of the different things that you may find, is, for example, in the Jimmy level 1 exam, they don't use the methodology of these two roadmaps, the breakthrough results and the capability building. In the Jimmy level 1, it's only about the breakthrough results program. So when you do Jimmy level 3, you will be analyzing the capacity building program. That is strategy, capacity, discipline. Right now we are doing level 1. Level 1 is about the first roadmap, breakthrough results program. Okay. So if you are wondering, hey, I am doing some things that I am not finding in this Jimmy level 1 training, it's because we are doing things in parallel. So the strategy section, for example, that you will do on the workshop 1, it's on the workshop with the 5 companies, is part of Jimmy level 3, that test for level 3. So even though the training happens every Wednesday, I encourage you to read already the Jimmy level 3 book in book, right? So that you are ahead of the curve. Okay, any questions about that? All right. So building the business case, uh, we suggest some elements, and these are major suggestions. Each person is independent when they implement Jimmy level 1 to build a business case however they want. But we encourage for them to do an executive summary, analyze them making the concept real. How do you implement this in a real situation? Uh, some recommendations, for example, I remember I have recommended clients to buy other companies, for example, merge with another company, do an alliance, etc. Define the market. What is the size of the market? Explain the business model and the market size. Identify risks and options, and build an action plan. Those are some suggested elements. Um, each of these elements, we want them to answer a question specifically. Uh, Basically, this is intended to make them build a compelling business case. This is to increase the feasibility of its execution. Many of the people may build a business case to find funding, especially startups. This methodology may be used by startups, by new companies, and it's a cool way to build a business case that may get funded in the future by an angel investor or an invested fund, etc. So these elements need to be compelling for them. It has to be able to capture funds from an angel investor. So the better, if it's more compelling for them, it's more feasible, it's execution more likely. Other companies, or not startups, other companies will use it to launch new projects or new products. In this case, for this program, it's not for startups, it's for your companies. So uh, maybe the client, internal client, maybe the board of directors of your companies. So they will be presenting a business case to the board of directors, and they will decide if it's executable or not. This business case in the program, we do it in a much simpler way. It's not a very long documentation like here, 100 pages. No, we do it in a different way. We do it much simpler. So if you are going, don't think that because we ask for an executive summary here in Jimmy, in the program we are going to ask them for an executive summary and a whole bunch of documents to find a business case. This is more when the Jimmy level 1 is more for a whenever you are doing consulting for a one client, and the project is much broad, it's much extensive, or You have more time to implement things in these programs. In this is a 6-month program with 237 companies. We have simplified this step. So don't be confused whenever you go to Eureka and you see different things, okay? All right. We want them to be able to pitch their idea. Their business case needs to be explained in a very fast way, and we will do an exercise in one of the workshops where we want them to present their business concept in a 60-second or 90-second pitch. So they will present to each other. One company pitches to the other company and to the mentor, and we want to give feedback to them. So the pitch should at least have the elements that you can see here. These things. If they explain this in a fast way, 60 seconds, as we call it, the elevator pitch, they will be more successful in explaining their business ideas. Okay? So, when they explain their idea, it's good that many of them had an aha moment. An aha moment is what we call when you are in the whole process they've been through, they find a idea that at certain point they said, aha, this is what I want to execute. If they felt that was an aha moment, it would be cool for them to mention it to other people because it will be compelling for them as well. So find the aha moment, uh, explain the concept, and try to show how does it feel like, how does it look like. We will do that in the future with a prototype or other types of ways of showing what does the product look like. So this is a good way to pitch their ideas. Do you have any questions until now? All right. We are finalizing the idea generation and the business concept. And we want them to start converting their ideas into an actual business case, an actual business. So in order to do that, we're going to start making them build artifacts, what we call artifacts. What do you think is an artifact? Anybody can give me like an idea of what you think when I say artifact? Any volunteers? Franco, Nadeska, Paulette, Andrés. All right, let me explain it then. An artifact is a tool that we use to materialize the business concept and to get feedback, to reduce risk, and to go to the market in an easier way. All right? An artifact.
Arthur,
Yes?
sorry, I think it's like a prototype, more or less.
Yeah, more or less, more or less. So this word we're gonna be using it, artifact, and it's kind of confusing to the company, so I want to stop there and explain it a little bit. Let me. So let's say here are your clients and you have a business idea that you want to sell to them. But you have different types of clients, right? And these guys have different needs. And if you build a product, already without asking them what are their needs, this product will fail, right? That is not a good way of doing it. In order to build a good business, we first receive feedback from them. Give me feedback about some things that we call artifacts. And there are many artifacts that we're going to be using. These are artifacts. After using the artifacts, then at the end we will build an actual product. This is the product after receiving feedback. So these artifacts will be things like a brochure. Oops. I'm going to put that B. A brochure, a simulation, a prototype, a letter of intent, a purchase order, a video, a protocept, etc. We're going to have many artifacts. And these artifacts are the things that we will be using to get feedback from the clients. And finally, finding the right product. Okay? So artifacts could be visualizations, charts, graphs, diagrams, pictures, prototypes, mock-ups, but we are going to find a list of artifacts that will reduce the risk of the product launched to the market. Okay? and the first artifacts, it may happen in a piece of paper, as I just did. They just write down what they think is the product going to look like, and they start building it. But you start at first you want to predict what are the problems that we are solving to the clients. How are they going to solve it? Why will customers participate or pay for this product? What are they looking for? How are they solving the problem right now, and what else is out there, and how are we going to tackle that? We want to do a good enough artifact, right? It has to be compelling. So you should be able to successfully capture value for your client. Capturing value is getting a little bit more margin for them to sell, or their perception of value is greater. We want them to have a high perception of value. All right. We want your clients to target markets that are big, that they may have a big portion of the market, that the sources of data that they found already, like some research they have done on the possible market, is already advanced. Let's say it shouldn't be like completely null. They should have a grasp of what the market looks like to build these artifacts. So who would be maybe some stakeholders, who would be partners, how would be the supply chain. We want them to build this. We want them to show that they're anticipating to the potential upside and downside of the business. So we are going to do some exercises to find which are the risks of the business and how will we mitigate them. We will be finding the key uncertainties, the major technology, commercial or execution risks, etc. So each of these will be some exercises we will be doing during the workshops. So we also want to try to increase the market size. So we're gonna do some exercises to make them realize their market is bigger than what they think. So, for example, if you're building chips and they are thinking on servers, that's their market size, servers in the world. But that market may be bigger. You just have to generate some ideas and you will realize that you can also include portable computers. And even greater can be the market because you can go for business services who use chips for random things. So we will be doing exercises to make the market size and the time to the market size bigger and time to market lower. Okay? So we will doing several tactical issues and asking some questions related to their concepts. Using a range of tools and techniques in order to find to reduce the risk to go to the market. So we want to ask the stakeholders, your future stakeholders, if this will be a feasible thing to do. So if it's actually feasible, you will, or not, you will identify very fast if this product is a good thing to go to the market. We also would like to understand the barriers of implementing this concept. Sometimes you have barriers, for example, legal barriers. Some food, in the food industry, this happens a lot. For example, people want to create colorful food with some additives, and there are some colors that are not legal. Then there's a barrier for building this food with all types of colors, and you can start identifying legal barriers. That's one example. And we want them also to have quick wins. When you have quick wins with your client, your organization, that organization will be excited faster. So if you, when you're with your client and you start consulting to them of this project, etc., and you foresee a quick win, it's gonna be very good for this company because the culture and the team will get excited to go faster. So we will use multiple tools and techniques to do this and to go to the market faster. One of the things that we will do is we will do concept visualization. For example, start building a picture or images that show the actual characteristics of your product. We will do the exercise of reverse engineering that we already talked about. And we want them to fail fast through experimentation. And all this process is a process of reducing risk to go to the market. So all these concept visualization, reverse engineering, last experiment first. Will be some exercises we'll be doing for them to make it real. We will also be doing during this program a prototype. That is one of the deliverables and or prototypes or a other thing that many of your companies will have in order to explain their product. Many of them are services. So a frequent question will be, how can I do a prototype of a service? So I have found many of them do a prototype or a simulation or a video that shows the actual or make them foresee what is the characteristics of the service. Okay. I have also seen, for example, some companies to build a maqueta. How do I say maqueta in English? a, uh, a representation of the service with playing with um, some toys and playing with different things, representations of real things. So there are many ways of doing prototypes and prototypes, and creativity is welcome. We will also try to encourage internal and external partnerships. So we will be analyzing their supply chain. We'll be analyzing their supply chain to see if we can find internal and external partners for their products, for their future launch. We will also try to make some simulations of what will happen in the future whenever they want to launch a product. Also, we will hope we will be able to test the product in the market. Testing there's a paradigm with testing. People believe that testing a product, it needs to be almost done, and that's not true. If you go to a client and you are able to simulate what you will offer in the future, maybe, and you will get surprised, many of them will be able to get purchase orders without having the actual product done. It's just through the artifacts that we are doing, they may test the market and they will be able to get letter of intents for a purchase, or they will actually get a purchase order. We also want to make them understand who may be the early adopters or the lead customers, who will be the first types of clients, and how do you implement a network expansion strategy on your clients. Okay. So let me check. Okay. We also want them to realize, after selecting the concept, what do they have to start doing already, because this is a real project. This is not, we are not only training them on how to do it, we're making them do it. So you as a mentor need to, this is more your industry experience comes out here a lot, and your consulting experience comes out a lot. You have to make them start doing the real deal, start doing changes in their organization, changes in their processes, implementing, hiring new people, I don't know, or getting some training. What do they have to start doing in the next months so that this project actually is done, is delivered on time? Possibly they will need time to every week for the teams to meet. They will need people. They will need maybe money. They will need maybe some equipments like computers. They will need resources, etc. Do their analysis and make them work from day one. Okay. It is very important for you to start using storytelling. Give them your experience. Uh, Talk about examples in by readings or through your career or through your business school. You have heard many stories, uh, and each of you may have something in particular that you feel it relates to your client. So make them understand this is executable and people have done it before. Uh, so maybe you can ask and do stories like how does the business will look like and feel like when your client has been successful. Uh, Possibly, and this happens, the innovation they will have is already in the market or something similar is in the market and they haven't realized it. If you show the process of that other company on how they created this similar product, then they will feel it's executable. And you may explain how did that happen. If this was one of your clients, explain to them what tweaks and what was the roadmap. And here we will do some exercises like learning histories. Learning histories is like the unwritten rules of how each company works. We'll talk about, for example, if you don't get the support of a person in your organization, this project will not be feasible. And you may start explaining these unwritten rules and telling them how they did it, and they will get excited. And you want them to understand how they can start implementing already. Okay. So a fast recap. You have any questions on this section? This is the value chain and how we capture value. Many people, in many of your clients will get confused with the supply chain. The supply chain is parallel to the value chain, yes, but don't don't get mixed up. We're talking about the value chain here, okay? Uh, Value is created in different phases as you go to the market, and and we will be analyzing throughout the program all the value chain and related to the business models in order to generate new value. We want new value to be created, but not only create new value but capture it. We want to capture new value. We want the innovations to be breakthrough innovations. Your clients need to build breakthrough innovations. We want them to be very compelling, but not out of the core. It has to be related to emerging and sustaining trends, because trends always come. Haven't you noticed that? Every time you hear something happens in Europe and it becomes a trend worldwide, and then 10 years later is in your country. Well, that is why trends are good. It increases your possibility of success. We want them to use simple and proven business models. And if they relate them to basic human needs, the success will be higher. And if they do all of these combining capabilities in unique ways, then you will build barriers of entry and your customers will be wowed faster. We always want them to think as individuals, as pairs, and then as groups, because that's a process where ideas are generated in a better way and you don't lose ideas. We don't want them to lose ideas as an individual. And this way of creating ideas is much better. Remember, there are some steps of the process that we have a structured approach to be creative, where we have a setup, diverge, connect, converge, emerge way of doing things. And that makes sense because first you want to go broad, generate many ideas, and then you start prioritizing, and then you select one concept. And in each step of the process, there are different hats that need to be working, depending on the thinking style you want them to role play in each step of the process. For example, Diana, you were mentioning that they're creating concepts. Haven't you noticed that we have been using this framework in order to emerge into one concept? We first generated the characteristics of the idea that we want them to go for. Then they start generating ideas, they start connecting the dots, they start prioritizing them, and then they select one. And in each step of the process, each thinking hat needs to be there. And we want their teams to be cross-functional, because as I said before, if you don't know if this product can be transported because the logistics department is not in the team, then you will lose time. So we will reduce the risk by having cross-functional teams. Okay, and each of these steps is the things that we've already talked about a lot on the few days, the last trainings, is the steps on how we make a business case compelling. All right. And it starts with the innovation intent. We start generating opportunities, insights. We find a right field of play. We make a candidate lists of concepts, and we then build a business case. All right. So I think that's it for today. Thank you for coming. Many of you already did the test, and some of you haven't done it yet, but hopefully you will perform well on the exam. The next step will be level 2, and we can talk about that in a later training. And hopefully next week we'll start with the training of level 3. So if you have any questions, ask your city leader or shoot me an email. All right? Good luck on your tests.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Arturo.
And always read the book. There are all the answers.
Thanks,
Thank
Arthur.
you.
Right.
Arthur. Bye.
Arturo.
Yes.
Arturo, may I ask you something? When do you think you can send us the in-book 3?
Well, today I send you this link that is in the chat. I think I have not been very clear with that because I receive the question frequently. So you have to go to this page that I have already sent you through email, and that I have mentioned in the trainings. And in this link, you log in, and there is all the content you need. So basically, if you click there and then you go to mentor documents here in the right part, there is all the content that you need, including the level 3 book. Right now it's not opening. My internet is slow. Can you hear me?
Of course, Arturo.
Okay. All right. Oh. And here is all the mentor documents, all right? Do you have already access to this platform?
Yes.
Okay. In this here you not only find the videos, but you also find the books. So this is looking weird right now, but this is the level 1 book. This will change its appearance in the next days. And this is the level 3 book. And later on we will be doing the management consulting level 1 test also, so you can read also this book. These 3 books are the 3 tests that you will be taking. Okay? So you can download them and study out. Cool.
Thank you so much, Arturo.
All right, you're welcome. Um, I will send you an email again with the link and with the training session link also. Just an update for everybody. And if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask me again, okay? All right, guys, thank you very much. See you next time. Next Wednesday, 10 a.m.
Thank you.